We want to go back to the presidential debate now with our partners at PolitiFact.
We're joined now by PolitiFact Chief Correspondent Lou Jacobson, taking us inside the debate tonight. Lou, great to see you as always. I want to start with something that's getting a lot of headlines right now, something that former President Trump said during the debate. Former President Trump repeated debunked claims about immigrants eating people's pets in Springfield, Ohio. Can you kind of explain this and what PolitiFact found about this?
Yeah, that's false. The city spokesperson told us, I think today, that these claims about Haitian immigrants eating residents' pets are unfounded. A Springfield city spokesman said the city has gotten no such reports, and Springfield police told a local news outlet that the department has also received no reports of pets being stolen or eaten. There are about 20,000 Haitian immigrants in Springfield, but nothing about pets has been documented at all.
And now we want to move on to a claim by Vice President Harris that Trump intends to pass what is in effect a national sales tax that would cost families $4,000 a year. Lou, what has PolitiFact found out about this?
Yeah, so Trump has basically repeatedly proposed wide-ranging tariffs on foreign goods, including an across-the-board tariff of 10 to 20% and a 60% tariff on goods from China specifically. Although tariffs are imposed separately from the tax system, consumers would basically feel their impact in much the same way as they do taxes. The shortcoming here in what Harris said is that the specific dollar amount is a little bit open to discussion. We found two estimates that have generally supported Harris's $4,000 figure. Two different analyses show a smaller, although still significant impact.
And Lou, pretty high up in the debate was the topic of abortion. There was a claim made by former President Trump on that topic about newborn babies being aborted post-birth. I want to bring the quote up if we can. They said that, he said, meaning that the governor of Virginia at the time would say, quote, "The baby will be born and we will decide what to do with the baby." What did PolitiFact find about this claim?
Yeah, we found that to be false. He's basically putting words in the mouth of the former Virginia governor, who's a physician himself. He never said he would sanction the execution of newborns. If you willfully terminate a newborn's life, it's infanticide, which is illegal in every U.S. state. There are situations that could result in fetal death in the third trimester. They are very rare, and they typically involve fetal anomalies or life-threatening medical emergencies affecting the pregnant woman. And it's certainly the case that the vast majority of Democrats support abortion access up to fetal viability, and that's defined as when the fetus is able to survive outside the womb. That's around 24 weeks of pregnancy.
All right, Lou Jacobson from PolitiFact, thank you so much. Always enlightening to have you on. Thank you.
Thank you.